You found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. On today's episode, we got to talk about the firing of Tom Thibodeau and Bulls fans running to immediately say, bring him back. Should the Bulls look into bringing back Thibs? Is it something we even are remotely going to see? Can Josh Giddey actually be Hallie? And of course, can Acme be proven right? All that and more in today's episode of Locked On Bulls. Let's go.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Locked On Bulls. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. I'm your host, Pat, the designer. Today, Hayes is dealing with something today. So some business, some personal business. We ain't gonna put the business out there. Got some things going on. But you got me on the solo show, which is always fun because I feel like we get to just talk back and forth, do kind of the Pat and the people thing where we're chopping it up and having a conversation one-on-one with the fans. So drop your comments into the live chat. This is why I love doing the live chat because I want to start it off here. Should the Chicago Bulls be looking to bring back Tom Thibodeau after he was fired from the Knicks, where I'm not going to lie to you, it is surprising that he was fired. I'm not going to say I don't understand it from this aspect. Remember what the Milwaukee Bucks did? And I get it. They won a championship, so it's very different. But your plan was always to fire Mike Budenholzer. We were going into that playoffs going, Mike Budenholzer is 110% getting fired by the end of this season. Then he goes on this improbable finals run, and you deal with the issues moving forward because he went on the finals run. He wins the finals. You end up coming away with a championship. And so there's no way you would ever fire a coach then. Instead, you did it a couple of years later where the exact same problems popped up the very next season. You tried to make some things work. You tried to fix it. You bring in, different assistants, different players, all this stuff to try and make this stuff work. And you ended up firing them anyway. So the Knicks kind of were like, yeah, you got us to an ECF, except a lot of these problems still exist. I don't know if you guys have seen the latest, but it seems like there was a beef with the fact that Rick Brunson was a part of the team, and some players did not like Rick Brunson on the team, and that's very difficult when the best player on the team is his son. So to me, like when you're talking about the future or why Thibs was fired, I kind of get that. I'm not even surprised by it. To me, it's not shocking. I think it makes a ton of sense. Now, the question is, with him now being on the market, could he be somebody that the Chicago Bulls will move on from Billy Donovan for? And as much as I get it, I understand that Thibs, he does bring winning ways back. He does bring winning ways back. You have to think about everything you would have to do to make a team work for Thibs. This is not a team right now that is built for the style of coaching that Thibs had. So basically, you just be throwing a coach in there that has a good name. Thibs is going to find a job. He's a good coach. He's not a great coach. We got that already. And at a minimum, we have a guy who's already on this team that has a team built for what he does well. You saw that in the second half of the season. I thought Billy Donovan did some of the best coaching that we'd seen from him in the second half of the season. You can't overcome your team missing shots. And I know a lot of people look at that last play-in game. They're like, how do you not have your team ready? And it's like, yeah, you probably had your team ready. You probably had them prepared. You probably told them everything that Miami was going to throw at them. And yet you still ended up going out there and looking like a fried turd versus them because your team was not ready to knock down open shots. Your team missed too many easy opportunities. Your team turned the basketball over too many times. There's only so much. I can come up with the best scheme in the world, and I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm talking about Billy Donovan here. I can come up with the best scheme in the world. Doesn't mean a hill of beans if you go out there and you turn the basketball over as much as the Bulls did in that last game. So I'm not even going to sit here and say that I think that I'm out on Billy Donovan one way or the other. It is what it is. He's here. And y'all know how I feel about NBA coaches. I think most of these guys are all the same. I think you've got your elites. I think you got a bunch of dudes that are just good coaches. Then I think you got your bottoms of the bottoms, right? The guys that are kind of at the bottom of the barrel. But when you look at it, right, what Thibs did for this team The one thing that I will say is he did change the team for the better. He did change the Knicks for the better heading into the playoffs. Knicks were sitting with a 118 offensive rating, which was fifth in the league. The defensive performance last season, which makes sense, right? You got Cat, you've got Jalen Brunson. There's all of these pieces there, but you would have thought they'd be a little bit higher with Josh Hart, with Mikal Bridges. They ranked 14th in the NBA in defense at a 114 defensive rating on the season for a net rating of 4.2, right? Not bad. But then you get into the playoffs and you maintain that defensive rating, but now you don't have the offensive efficiency to go out there and dominate like you were. Offense went down an entire point, 113.3, which was seventh among all playoff teams in the playoffs there, and a net rating of -1. So now you're out of the playoffs because of this, right? And the adjustments just weren't there. The adjustments weren't made. And so here's my point in bringing all of these numbers up, bringing all of this to the fold today. If you're going to go out there and you're going to hire Thibs, that's fine. You're going to be rebuilding everything. You're going to be starting everything over. It doesn't make sense to do this close to the draft either. So I don't think that there is going to be a reuniting of the Chicago Bulls as much as many Bulls fans want there to be. While I do love that Thibs finds a way to win in any situation that he's in, that he finds his way to the playoffs in any situation that he's in, I don't think that you need to retread. I think that you need to find a way to get the team right. And then once you get the team right, it won't matter as much which coach you have, because the players are the ones that are out there dominating. Billy Donovan with good players has also been to a Western Conference Finals. Billy Donovan with good players has also been on the door of going to the NBA Finals. And guess what? He didn't make it either. Again, I look at all of these coaches very, very similar. And so for me, while I do think that Thibs did a lot of things that upgraded what the Knicks wanted to do, I do think that Thibs was a very good piece. I feel like you could swap somebody in there and be just fine, because you've got Jalen Brunson, you've got Karl Anthony Towns, you've got Mikal Bridges, you've got Josh Hart. The pieces are there. Sometimes you just don't have the coach that can get you over the mountaintop. More times than not, you don't have the coach that can get you over the mountaintop. Now, what I will say is this, right? You look at that playoff series again, when you look at the Knicks versus the Pacers. Do I think that Thibs coached his best series? No. And I don't think that he's changed enough for you to feel great about him coming back to Chicago. What I mean by that is, and I love how Kenny Smith said this, Tom Thibodeau won't play 9 players in a baseball game. His rotations are not deep enough. You're basically gutting your team by the time you get to the playoffs. And I get rotations should get smaller, but you are gassing your team. The same things we complained about Tom Thibodeau leaving for are the same reasons that he was just fired. Yes, you're asking a lot. Yes, you're trying to push them as hard as they can go, because that's what they're going to need to get to that next level. But you have to know when to take the foot off of the gas, and Tom Thibodeau still does not. There are moments when the rotations seem a little bit better. I think this season was probably his best season in New York overall with his rotations. But when it gets down to it, when you get into the playoffs, you're complaining about the same things that we've been talking about with Tom Thibodeau for this entire time. Am I wrong in that? Shout out to Flaccavelli, said better than Billy, but most I would expect is his leading the foundation for how we should play, like how he did with the Knicks. Yeah, listen, there's something to be said to that, right? Does he maybe provide a little bit more of a foundation for the team? Does he maybe provide a little bit more of a direction for the team? Possibly. I'm not saying that you're wrong in that. We know what Thibs is as a leader. We know how, but we do know how he wears thin on players, how he wears thin on the team. I mean, let's be real. He's been in 2 spots with Karl Anthony Towns, and he's been fired from both of them. Who do we think is making some phone calls here? You know what I mean? Who do we think he's truly wearing thin on that team? Now, what I will say is this. I do like the fact that he was able to go in there and develop a lot of pieces. I do think that he helped a lot of pieces. I think that Thibs is a good coach. But to me, when you're talking about the foundation being set, the leadership that is being set there, can we say that Billy Donovan can't do it with this new regime that seems bought in, that this new era of Bulls basketball, I guess if you want to call it that, seems like it's going to be led by Josh Giddey? Do we feel like that he can't go out there and put this Bulls team in a position, if you have the right pieces on the court, if Matas Buzelis is that right piece, if Josh Giddey is that right piece, that Billy Donovan can't coach his way back into the playoffs? Like, we watched Billy Donovan coach his way into the playoffs year after year after year. He never had a losing record until he got here with the Bulls. He never had a losing record until he got with the Bulls. Do we think that Billy Donovan can't return back to that with the right pieces? By the way, that's not always with Russ. That's not always with Chris Paul. Now, again, am I sitting there telling you Billy Donovan's the end all be all? No, I think at the end of the day, you need a great coach. And I don't think that Billy Donovan's a great coach. I think he's a really good coach. I don't even know if I say really good. I think he's a good coach. Really good felt crazy. I think that he's a good coach. Just like I think Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. Just like I think Monty Williams is a good coach. There are special coaches around the NBA. If Ty Lue gets fired, you'll see me flipping tables to get Ty Lue here. If Eric Spoelstra gets fired, you'll see me flipping tables to get Eric Spoelstra here. Those are difference makers. Those are different levels of coach. Those are bigger names than what you're used to seeing. Because it doesn't matter what pieces they have on the floor, they're going to give you a heck of a fight time after time. It doesn't matter if you've got your superstar or if your superstar's banged up or if you got the backup bench point guard in there. There's a standard that's set. I don't think Billy Donovan is that. I don't think Tom Thibodeau is that. I don't think there's a bunch of names you can name that I don't think are that. But the bottom line is you could swap the coach out, especially with the coaches available. You swap in Thibs and you take out Billy, good job. You still got to get this team to lock in and believe in what the Tom Thibodeau is bringing in. And I think they've already started to do that with Billy Donovan. So I would, as weird as it is to say, I would rather have Billy Donovan on this team right now than Tom Thibodeau right now. I would rather have Billy Donovan right now than Tom Thibodeau right now. And yes, I do understand that Tom Thibodeau just went to an ECF, but why do we want to relive the same problems that we talk about every single year? Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down to talk with you guys as well. We're going to keep the show moving along. Got to talk about, can Josh Giddey be the Tyrese Halliburton of this Chicago Bulls team? Reason I bring that up, because the Indiana Pacers are in the NBA Finals tonight, and I think this could be this is probably AK's wet dream. I don't know if I could say that on here, but we're going to do it anyway. We'll talk about that and more right after this. But first, we got to tell you guys all about FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments, whether it's a game-winning shot, a breakout player. There's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments, and how could tracking their trend help you build your next bet? What is it that you would like to combine live prop bets mid-game? What would it look like to combine live prop bets mid-game based on how the action unfolds? How can you get $200 in bonus bets by adding how could I'm having a stroke doing this every. How could a $200 bonus in bets add to the excitement if it's your first $5 bet and it hits? If you're new to FanDuel right now, it's the perfect time to sign up. So head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets right now. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. Nothing like an ad read to really wake you up and kick your butt. I'll tell you that right there. But no, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Let's jump into the second topic, because I did this over on the Chicago Bulls Breeze. Tap in with us over there if you have not done that. That's where I'm posting a lot of Chicago Bulls content and stuff like that. I talked about, can Josh Giddey be the Tyrese Halliburton of this team? Now, we know the NBA Finals gets underway tonight. We know this is, like I said earlier, this is going to be the Arturas Karnisovas excitement fest, right? When you look at the two teams in here, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was traded for. He is now the MVP. Lou Dort was an undrafted free agent. He's now one of the best two-way players in the NBA. You end up getting Chet Holmgren high in the draft. Yep, there's your Modest Buzelis. You look on the other side of this thing, Tyrese Halliburton was traded for. Feels like this guy might be the next thing, and definitely could be going towards that top 5 point guard in the NBA level right now with what he's been able to do. Although I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. I know we're not talking finals right now. But when you talk about someone's metrics in the torture chamber, oh my God, we might see Tyrese Halliburton get folded up. We might see Tyrese Halliburton get folded up, which maybe plays into this a little bit as well. But what I will say is this: the question on the table, can Josh Giddey be the Chicago Bulls version of Tyrese Halliburton, knowing that AK is looking at this series and going, this is how we can build our teams and this is how we can find our superstars? And I think here's the thing. Do I think that Josh Giddey has the same skill set or even better in some ways than Tyrese Halliburton? Yeah, I do. I mean, defensively, I would take Hallie over Giddey. But when you're talking about moving the basketball, when you're talking about focusing in on scoring, how we saw Giddey score the basketball last season, when you're talking about being able to not only be the offensive piece, but also a major guy on the rebounding, on the boards, taking those boards and getting the ball ahead, right? I think that there's a lot of metrics where they are neck and neck, or even maybe where Josh Giddey is a little bit ahead of Tyrese Halliburton in some of those metrics. Now, here's the thing for me, though. It's not about can Giddey be Hallie, because when you're talking about apples for apples, sure, if you're running through and you swap out Tyrese Halliburton with Josh Giddey, can they be in that similar space? Yeah. I think that maybe Hallie has developed a little bit more as a leader, and you want to continue to see that that leadership grow for Josh Giddey. But if you're talking about what's making Hallie great right now, it's not just Hallie. It's everything that he's setting up for everyone else to be able to go out there. It's everything else that he's setting up for everybody else who's dominating on the court. Can Giddey be Hallie? Sure. The question is, can Modest be Pascal Siakam? Can Kobe White, if he is a part of this team, although the latest reports seem like they will be interested to see if Kobe is a part of this team, but Kobe White right now as a part of this team, can he be the I guess for lack of a better player on that team right there, because they don't really have a lot of shooters, but can he be your Ben Mathurin or your Andrew Nembhard? Can he be the guy that's out there putting up buckets night in and night out? You don't have a Miles Turner right now. Right? The thing that's making Hallie great is the fact that he's got pieces that are running with him, that are adding to what he's able to do, making things easier on him he's making things easier on them, as finding them with the passes and different things like that. But now all of a sudden we're focused on Pascal, who's cooking tonight. Oh snap, when did he get 19? That 19 put him over the top. Like, that to me is the more important part. That's what makes Hallie this important piece. And listen, if we're being honest, right? Like, this is the style that AK wants to build with. I don't know if this is a style that really goes out there and gets the job done for you. I don't know if this is a style that, is on a consistent Are we going to see the Pacers back in the NBA Finals? Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how they play in the NBA Finals. But do we think that the 9 guys of really good players can work on a consistent basis? Will it give you some fun teams? Sure. Do I think Indiana's going to be one of the top 5 teams in the East for the next, 5-6 years? For sure. A finals run is different. And for the people that are like, yeah, well, maybe this is the new era, maybe this is the new style of basketball that we're going to see, I doubt it. You know what wins championships? Stars. Superstars. You know who has a chance to become a superstar? Who just won an MVP, and maybe you can say now that he is a superstar confirmed. Y'all know my thing. You got to have some kind of hardware. You got to have some kind of jewelry. You got to have something. He's got the MVP now. I might be giving Shea superstar now. It might not even be a might. I think I'm giving Shea superstar now. Shea goes in here and wins a championship. He's an absolute superstar. Guess what? A superstar won the championship. So for me, it's yet to be seen what's going to happen here. If the Indiana Pacers go out here and dominate and win, cool. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, you just watched it work. Maybe you can make it happen. But Oklahoma City tonight is going to have an opportunity to really come out and put their foots on Indiana's throats. And they're going to be led by a superstar talent player. You've got all the other complementary pieces and all of that. You've got Chet. You've got Lou Dort. You've got Alex Caruso. You've got all these other complementary pieces. At the end of the day, Shea's the one that is going to be leading the offensive engine for this team. And so to me, yeah, the Pacers are a fun story. The likelihood is that the superstar is going to win again. I think that's the route that you always need to look to go versus going with the 8, 9, 10 really good players that AK wants to add to this team. We've seen that work once in 40 years. We've seen that work once in 40 years. Holvin said if the Pacers make it a good series, then we could talk about it. I mean, we can. Like, if they make it a good series, right? Let's say it goes 7. Let's say it goes 7. They fight the entire way, tooth and nail. We've seen it work once in 40 years. And I'm just going 40 because 40 is a nice round number, and I'm trying to think of past 40. What's 40 years ago? We're a long way into 2020. It's the 80s? 70s? Nope, superstars are winning. Maybe the 60s? Maybe the 60s? That's not the route that continually gets you wins. The Pistons was a fun run, but let's be real. It was really a 3-year run, 4-year run that we were worried about the Detroit Pistons. The Bulls end up beating them in a playoff series. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it was 10 years of dominance with 8 to 9 good players. So for me, I would rather see I'm not saying that it's easy, although it seems a lot easier in this league. But I would rather see you swing for the superstar. I would rather see you, try to find your Shea, try to find your Ant, try to find your Ja, try to find whatever it is, right? And you can be competitive through that process. Although it would have helped you if you had, not re-signed Lonzo Ball and traded him away for the 18th overall pick. I will say that every show. I will say that every show dang near until he's off my team. There is that opportunity for you to find that guy while getting, staying competitive, remaining competitive. But let's be real. You don't win in the NBA without that guy. It doesn't happen. Maybe the Pacers can prove us wrong. Maybe the Pacers come out tonight and they punch him in the mouth and they go on this run and it's 4-0 and we're sitting there and we're like, oh my God, what just happened? They didn't have a superstar on their team, and it'll happen for the second time in 40 years. But give me the other 38 than the 2-1 off. Let me know how you guys feel. Question I do have coming up for this with all of this. Can Acme be proven right? We'll talk about that, kind of continue in this conversation coming up next. I want to get you guys involved in the conversation as well. So send your comments in. Do you think that if this Pacers series ends up being a competitive series, that Acme can be proven right? We'll talk about all that more coming up next. Thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of Locked On Bulls. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Getting back into the conversation. Now it comes down to this, right? And I think we've talked about this before on the show, but now as the draft is getting closer, as you kind of are seeing the Bulls be shaped in a way that seems similar to some playoff teams that are still remaining in the playoffs, we've been very hard on Arturas Karnisovas for good reason. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be. We've been very hard on Mark Eversley, who basically does not speak to the media ever, on what they really can do for this team, how they really can go out there and build this team. Can Acme be proven right by the end of this? Are we going to have to eat a little bit of crow here as this thing continues to move forward? And the reason I bring this up is because when you look at the second half of the season, when you look at how teams are now playing in the playoffs and the two teams that are left standing here in the finals. There is this. What's it here? Look, Hayes calling me right now. Hayes is calling me right now. Don't say nothing crazy. I'm live on the stream.
On what stream?
I'm live on Locked On Bulls. What up? Say what up to the crowd.
I'm finna slide through.
Pull up. We got you got 5 minutes to make it.
All right, bet.
All right. We go get Hayes here to finish out the show. Hopefully, hop up in here. But no, man. Like, do we think that Acme truly can go out here and end up, actually building a team that changes the viewpoint of the Bulls in the Eastern Conference? And what, to me, I'm looking around the East, right? And when you look at Boston, who is going to take a step back. Listen, I get it. Jaylen Brown is still there, but you've just lost Jason Tatum for an entire season. Next year, you're going to take a step back. Jason Tatum, I get it. We all want to talk about him. We all want to laugh about it. He's a really good player. As Hayes is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Made it for the last 5 minutes. The paycheck will clear.
Hey, listen, as much as if I had to fill in for you over the last 2 weeks, it's okay, bro.
Oh! I showed up. But no, let me ask you this, Hayes. As we're finishing out the show here real quick, since you're here. With the landscape of the East next season feeling like it's going to be drastically different, it seems like the Giannis and Bucks conversations are louder than we've ever heard before. The Pacers are representing the East in the NBA Finals right now, and I think no superstar there. The Knicks just fired Thibs. What the heck is that team about to be? The Celtics losing Jason Tatum. Can Acme be proven right next season? Can he find a way to act? Can they find a way to actually put a team together that is competitive in this Eastern Conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were kind of already on pace to be a little bit of that. So, yeah, I mean, the Eastern Conference being weaker definitely gives it a shot. We got to see how everything's going to shake out. If they get this draft pick right, don't make a stupid trade for Kobe, and Modest takes a step up, and depending on how Josh Giddey, yeah, I could see us flirting with the 6 seed next year, 7 seed potentially. I think that's in the cards possibly, but things got to fall really right. Now, I don't know if that proves Acme right. I think you got to have sustained success before I'm ready to say that Acme's proven right, but it can be a step in the direction for sure for the Bulls to do that.
I think what's interesting is with all the changes with how, right, we're watching this Pacers team about to play in the finals and how they've been playing. To me, when I look at the next season in the NBA, I think the Magic are at this weird crossroads as well. I think there's a lot of opportunity for the Bulls to move up in the standings and actually be a competitive team. And I'm talking about top 6 team, but the change may have to be minimal, and there's going to have to be a major step from somebody on this team, whether it's Giddey, whether it's Modest, whoever it ends up being, for you to get to the point where you go, oh, this is somebody I have to worry about every night. And I don't think that the Bulls haven't had that in, dang, how long has it been?
We haven't had that in a long time, bro.
I
mean, the closest DeMar was close. DeMar was close because, you had to worry about DeMar going out there and getting his buckets every night. He was always going to put up his numbers. But as far as putting the team on their back, we're going to get this win regardless. We haven't had that since Jimmy. Just being frank, we haven't had that since Jimmy. So
to me, I think that's a step where you get, maybe it's why the Bulls are seemingly making some moves that they're trying to make here, or, with the rumors out there about moves being made and stuff like that, trades being made possibly. I keep saying this. There's this weird belief that, at least it feels like it to me, where the Bulls front office is like, Modest Buzelis is more than we thought he was.
Yeah.
We need to give him as many shots as possible.
I hope that that's the case, but then, if they make a move for Kuminga, I don't believe that that's the case that they're looking at. He's definitely going to take shots away, right? So, I mean, I hope that this Bulls team and the coaching staff finally do say, because it seems like Kobe, it was like a reluctance. Zach went down, Kobe stepped up, and then it was like, okay, cool. Then this year, they took it away from him again at the beginning of the season. Kobe, you're a jump shooter now. So, I hope that they understand what they potentially have in Modest and say, all right, let's see. I'm not saying he needs to get 18 shots per night, but I do think going from having no plays ran for you, because Modest still didn't have any plays ran for him, to even saying 4, 5 possessions, a half. Like let's do something to get you to see if you can take on this workload that's going to have to come if we do start needing to rely on your scoring. And I think we're set up perfectly for that. Josh Giddey as being a point guard that even finished the season averaging, 20, 10, and 9, something like that. But he'll tell you first himself, he would prefer to set other people up. Like he can score, but that's not necessarily his first inclination. So I think that you have a team that's ready to give Modest a little bit more, and hopefully he's ready for it, and the Bulls actually do it.
Is that the reason, though, why we're hearing some of these Kobe White trade talks? Because what I will say is this. I don't know if there's a world where you take the ball out of Kobe's hands and he's anywhere near the player you're hoping that he can be as a number 2. And on top of that, he's not a catch and shoot guy.
He's not catch and shoot.
He's not a catch and shoot guy. And I swear the Bulls just keep going, be catch and shoot.
Yeah.
You got to be
they try to make him Ben Gordon, and he's not. That's why anytime somebody's like, oh, Kobe is like Ben Gordon, he's nothing like Ben Gordon. No. Ben Gordon would thrive in a catch and shoot scenario, but that's not Kobe's game. And to his credit, him and Giddey figured it out about as much as they possibly could at the end of last season. And I think to answer your question, like, is that why you're hearing the Kobe thing? Because in fairness, again, I love Kobe, but in fairness, if AK Eversley, the coaching staff, is really evaluating that, they probably have to ask themselves, all right, how successful can we really be in doing this if Kobe's not going to be? Giddey's definitely not a catch and shoot guy. Modest isn't a catch and shoot guy yet. Kobe's not. So you don't have that. The closest thing you have to that on this team is Kevin Huerter, and he didn't do that well in catch and shoot scenarios last season.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. That there's a lot of love for Huerter in that building right now. I don't think you end up moving on from him. You got him under contract anyway. Like, I truly wonder if they're like, okay, this is Giddey and Modest's offense now. Huerter, you're gonna slide in as the 2. And here we go. Like, we're going to add pieces where we can. We're going to move on from Kobe, and you get all the catch and shoot opportunities you want. You better get good at it again. You better figure it out.
Unless they draft Cedric Coward, who's actually great.
Ooh, see, now we're having a different conversation. As Jordan JC would say, that gets me meaty. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow Hayes on everything at CEO Hayes.
Yep, and Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Fubo TV, Roku TV. Basically, anywhere you want us, you can get it. All right, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow morning. Peace, y'all.
Peace. The pause made it feel more Diddy. I don't like that.
That's what I was going for.
Take that. Came through glistening a little too much, my G. What kind of appointment were you at?
The beard is shining.